Hello, Mr. Jaroslaw.
That was perfect. Thank you very much for having me.
Hans did it better than I am, but hopefully I didn't mispronounce your name. So thank you very much for joining us today. So what prompted you to create the DeepL translator, and can you tell us more about the technology behind it?
So yeah, I think at the beginning we've been a pretty international team who was just passionate about people understanding each other and being able to just cross language barriers. And you all know, not everybody is extremely proficient in foreign languages. So just having a tool which helps you to communicate with your colleagues, with your friends, and maybe even with your customers. That was always our passion. And when we started working on DeepL several years ago, it was the time when artificial intelligence was coming into this field, and where we've seen that actually you can do quite a lot with that. You can just write your emails in your native language and translate it, and it's going to be perfect. You're not going to have any mistakes there, or less mistakes than if you write it on your own. So we were just excited about how great AI can be employed for that, and started bringing this product to the world and developed languages all across the time, and came to Bahasa Indonesia right now, and are happy to support even more people with their translation needs.
Well, Mr. Kutylowski, as we all know that before this, we had several popular translation AIs. What separates DeepL to those other previous applications or websites or AIs in the market at the moment?
It's all about the neural network design and how the AI actually works under the hood. So if you think about AI, it's all based on neural networks. It's a little bit like our brain. At the beginning, it doesn't know anything, and then you have to train it. You have to show it a lot of examples on how it should be doing its task. So in that example, this is translations that have been already crafted by humans, and it's always rewarded if it learns correctly and if it can show off that it can actually translate very well. And the crucial thing about neural networks is that you actually, the mathematicians and engineers behind that, have to engineer the structure of this brain in the proper way, so that it actually translates very, very well. And DeepL was always at the frontier of research on how these structures can be made so that it actually produces not only correct translations, but also translations which are really naturally sounding and appeal to us humans.
You know, when I first heard that Bahasa Indonesia or Indonesian language is included in the system, I was like, oh, wow, okay, that's great for Indonesians traveling abroad, right? But the question is, why did you decide to launch DeepL in Indonesia?
I think it's not only about traveling abroad. I think it's also communicating with our business partners abroad. Like DeepL is usually or quite often used in a business setting. So the possibilities are far larger. In general, we are just extending our coverage of languages, and Indonesia is a large country with Indonesian spoken by a lot of people, and we've seen that we've had a tremendous success with Japanese as we brought it to the country there. So we thought this is also something that can help a lot of people in Indonesia.
Well, we certainly remember about some translators, AIs, in the past that they did translate it literally, not by context. And with neural network technology, is it going to be like translating from context to context in that sense, or how does it work?
Yeah, it's actually that way. So DeepL is considering your whole document when you're translating it, or is considering what was written in the different sentences that you're translating. So this is why we can achieve much better quality, and this is also what really brings machine translation to a level nowadays that you can use it in business contexts and in contexts which really require great quality.
I see. So, talking about the feedback of DeepL users, how have they been, the feedbacks?
We have lots of happy users, of course, and they're happy with every time, and we are working on increasing the quality of machine translation all the time. They're happy that the quality is growing over time, and that therefore they can employ machine translation for newer tasks and can, for example, put out website content without checking it anymore. So this ever working loop of increasing quality adds new use cases for our users and makes it possible for them to be more efficient with their work every day.
Right. Before we continue, though, I'm quite curious about the documents or the translation that DeepL has the ability to solve or to work on, to translate. Is it only for soft file documents, or it has also the capacity for screening hard copy documents? Would that be possible?
Yes, you can. The easiest way is, of course, to do text documents that you have in a Word document or which you can copy paste into the translator. If you have a scanned PDF document, for example, you can also put it into DeepL and it will be also translated to another language.
So that's interesting, because if we have hard copy, then we can we can put it into PDF and DeepL will do the magic.
I would love to see what DeepL can actually do with that. But, sir, what is your opinion on the future of AI technology and their role in linguistics? Because as we all know, these days our life is strongly related to AI. Even, some of the people in the world, they say that when they feel lonely, they will probably talk to some AIs. You will talk to Siri and something like that and asking, hey Siri, how are you? Just, to get the hang of it. But how is it the AI technology would have the role in the linguistic side?
I think there's still a lot to come. I think at the end, over the next, 5-10 years, it's going to probably change on how we are working with text altogether. With DeepL, you don't have to translate anymore on your own. You're just much faster doing that. There's going to be tools coming up which help you writing text, correcting your text, maybe aiding you even in how can you be more creative with your writing, so you not always have to come up with new ideas, but just the machine is doing that for you.
Wow.
You can always be in control, you can always correct or make sure that you're just writing whatever you need, but there's going to be far more tools that help you communicate and translate. And at the end, I think it's like introducing the calculator some years ago, when you've been handed a tool which just relieved you of having to calculate maths in your mind. You're just going to get many more tools that will help you write text and translate.
I've always been captivated by the fact that technology disrupts things in the status quo, right? So DeepL, I think it disrupts the profession of sworn translators, right? Yes. If we want to apply for a visa and we have to submit our Indonesian language documents, we will need sworn translators. And in formal meeting settings, we need translators as well. But it's for spoken languages. So what kind of professions that DeepL will disrupt in the near future, or even right now?
Of course, it is changing the way how translators are working already right now, and we have a lot of translators as customers of DeepL and as users who have just transformed the way in that in which they're working. So a lot of the mundane and easy work that they've been doing is now so they're using DeepL for that. and are making sure that their time is best spent at the trickiest part of translation and those that really require still human intervention, and making sure that the quality all in total is just the best possible. So it's kind of changing the way they're doing the work, and they're employing DeepL as a tool for making them more proficient, quicker, and better in their jobs.
Well,
this is the usual feedback that we're getting from translators.
All right. So, Mr. Kutylowski, just out of curiosity, you've been dealing with languages. What language do you think the most difficult language to learn in your career at the moment? Just out of curiosity.
I'm speaking Polish as my native language, which is already a pretty tricky one. So I think I had a very easy start on that. And the other languages that I'm speaking, English and German, are comparing to that a little bit easier. And I've been struggling to not learn another language right now, just because it's so complicated, and I'm actually relying on the AI on that one. I have to be honest.
All right. So thank you so much, Jaroslaw Kutylowski, for sparing your time with us and talking about DeepL. Thank you so much.
That's really interesting.